Once upon a time, in a peaceful, sunlit forest, there lived a hare known far and wide for his speed. He was fast, swift as the wind, and proud of it. "No one can beat me," he would boast to the other animals. And for a long time it seemed to be true. But in the same forest there also lived a tortoise. He was slow, steady, and quiet, often overlooked by others. One day, the tortoise grew tired of the hare's bragging. "I may not be as fast as you," he said calmly, "but I believe I can beat you in a race." The forest erupted in laughter. A tortoise challenging the fastest creature in the woods? It seemed impossible, but the hare, amused by the idea, agreed. "This will be the easiest race of my life," he chuckled. "Let's do it." On the morning of the race, all the animals gathered in the clearing to watch. The sun was shining, and excitement buzzed in the air. At the starting line stood the hare, bouncing with energy, and beside him, the tortoise, steady and composed. The squirrel referee raised her flag and shouted, "On your marks, get set, go!" In a flash, the hare dashed off, disappearing down the path in a blur. The tortoise, unbothered, took his first slow, steady step. The crowd cheered, though most had their eyes fixed on the hare, racing far ahead. Before long, the hare had reached the halfway point. He looked back and laughed. The tortoise was nowhere to be seen. "He's so far behind, I could take a nap and still win," the hare said to himself. And so he did. Under the shade of a large tree, the hare stretched out and drifted off to sleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept moving forward. Step by step, slowly but surely, he passed the sleeping hare without making a sound. He didn't look back, and he didn't stop. Hours passed, and when the hare finally woke up, he stretched and yawned, then looked around. "Time to finish this race," he said confidently. But when he dashed toward the finish line, he couldn't believe his eyes. The tortoise was already there, just a few steps away. The crowd erupted in cheers as the tortoise crossed the finish line, slow and steady as always. The hare skidded to a halt, shocked and humbled. He walked up to the tortoise and asked, "How did you do it? How did you beat me?" The tortoise smiled and said, "It's simple. Slow and steady wins the race." And from that day on, the hare learned a valuable lesson. Speed is useful, but patience and perseverance can lead to victory. And so, the story of the tortoise and the hare reminds us all that determination and steady effort will always take us to the finish line,